Hey everyone, this is Al. Thank you for attending my webinar around effective goal setting. Um, I wanted to talk to you guys about goals because this is actually a great time to do this. We're halfway through the year, and it's a really good time to look at your goals, see what you've done, see if you've accomplished your goals, see if it's a good time to reassess goals, see if it's a good time to start brand new goals. So um, with this session, really I'm going to talk about things that I've experienced firsthand, things I've learned at work, probably things that you probably have talked through at your work, school, wherever, when setting up your goals. So when setting up a goal, it's really easy to make a goal. And most people just say, this is my goal. I wanna, we'll say, be trainer. So that's their goal. But it's not really a goal that you can take action on. It's just really it's something in the air, and there's really no direction. And when you think of a goal or anything in life, you think of or directions. You treat it as this is where you are today and where you want to go. So we'll say, for example, you want to go to Disney World. You're going to say, I want to go to Disney World in June. You're going to get there by plane. You're going to go with X amount of people, whatever the case may be, and you have your specifics. You have your direction. You know what you need to do to get there. Whereas with goals, most people are just vague about it. This is what I want. And they're not really talking about the specifics and the details to get to that and to attain that goal. So when thinking of goals, you have to make your goals smart. And when I say smart, it means being specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. So those 5 components will help you make better goals. And smart goals, those are really hard to do because you have to have the details there to really get you from point A to point Z and all the points in between. Whereas your typical goals are just very vague, just kind of a general idea, and then you kind of fill in the blanks as you go. But those goals don't necessarily get accomplished. So when you're doing your goals, make them smart. So for example, one thing I see consultants post on the message boards or say to in chats and whatnot is that they want to hit 12,000 in sales to go in and on the cruise. That was one of our goals this year, and we made that goal. Other goals are things such as, I want to be trainer by the end of the year, or I want to be trainer just in general. But when you ask them how they're going to do this, there's no idea. It's just like, that's what I want to do. That's my end goal. So to really make that goal smart, we need to get the specifics in there and really get the details to really fill that goal in so that you can hold yourself accountable to that goal and be able to meet that goal. So for us, as I said before in our other webinars, we wanted to go on the cruise. That was a huge goal. Hit the cruise qualification within the first 4 months would have been ideal, and I'm glad that we made it. But it wasn't something that we just said, I want to go on the cruise. We had to think, how do we do that? What do we need to do? What are the steps that we need to take to go on the cruise? So here's an example. To get there, the goal would have been, I want to get on the cruise. I want to sell 12,000 in sales. Okay, but how? What are the specifics? So to make that a SMART goal, we had to be specific, we had to be measurable, we had to be action-oriented, and we had to be time-bound. So 4 months is a long period of time. So you first of all had to break it down. So let's break it down into smaller pieces. First thing you gotta do is you gotta make it 1 month, right? So I had to first, to make it specific, you want to make 12,000 sales in 1 month. But to even make that more specific and more realistic to you, say what month you want it to be done in. So I want to make 12,000 sales this month, or if it was the beginning of the year, in January. So that's making it more specific. Now, to get it measurable and even more specific, how are we going to do that? So if you looked at your sales and you tracked them and you said, you know what, I probably average about $1,000 in sales per pop-up. You could say, okay, well, to get there, I'm going to have to break that down. So 12,000 for four weeks in a month, I have to do $3,000 in sales each week. So how do we do that? Let's once again break it down, making it more specific. So to get 3,000, you have to do at least 3 pop-ups a week. So for you, you could say, I want to do 3 pop-ups a week to get $3,000 in sales in order to then, for 4 consistent weeks, to be able to get my $12,000 in sales. Now, there you have your actions in there where you're going to have these pop-ups. Okay. To give yourself some wiggle room, you could even say, I'm going to do an online sale as well. So at that point, you're having 4 pop-ups a week to get to that $3,000 in that 1 week. 4 times a month, you get to the 12 weeks. Great. Now, your time bound, where we already cared for that, it was going to be done this month. So January, we'll say, by the end of January. Now, what I skipped over was realistic. Now, for some people, 4 pop-ups, in-home pop-ups, and an online might be realistic for you. You may have the time to be able to do that and go out and about, but for Thea and I, we both worked full-time, and that wasn't realistic for us. So the realistic portion of it is all dependent on you and what's realistic to you. You can't really, you're the one that determines if it's realistic or not. There's no point in, pushing yourself to do something that is not realistic and setting yourself up for failure. So if for you, conversely, it might be, hey, instead of doing 4 or 3 in-home pop-ups and 1 online, it might be the flip, which that was the case for us, where we had to do more online pop-ups and 1 in-home per week. So that was your goal. And as long as you did that and you held yourself accountable to that, then you'd get to your 12,000. And if things changed a little bit in a month and you didn't hit that, 1,000 per pop-up, then you tweak it a little bit. But you take those little steps that made your goal from a generic goal to hitting 12,000 a month to very small, manageable pieces that are specific that you can measure, so that if you didn't hit that 1,000 for that sale, you can tweak it, or you can do less if you hit more than 1,000 to hit your monthly goal. And it goes for everything that you do, not just the sales. Building a team, if that's something that interests you, it's not necessarily just simple as saying, I want to build a team. So it's the question you're asking yourself is, how are you going to do it? What are the actions that you're going to take? How are you going to measure yourself if you're meeting your goal and you're going to attain your goal by your time frame? And last but not least, when do you want this done by? So that you can work backwards if need be to kind of say, well, this is my due date. I have to do X, Y, and Z. And this is the time that I have. And you're not really, stressing yourself, and you're not really setting something that's not necessarily realistic. You can then kind of set that pace. You can figure out what needs to be done and time it accordingly. I think that's the important thing, is giving yourself a realistic goal that you can do. Because most people, as I said before, they just say what their goal is and really have no idea how to get there. I mean, as I had said before, you don't go and say, I want to go cross country and not have any clue of how you're going to get there. You have your framework, when you want to go, you have those ideas of what you want to do. And the same thing goes for these goals. Last but not least, which is not necessarily part of SMART goals, it's something that I've taken away from the LuLaRoe training sessions, is really writing down your goals. I mean, I know me personally, I've never really, or not never, but rarely have written down my goals and say, this is what I want to do. Writing it down, I found, solidifies that goal. It holds you accountable to it. It's really real. It's no longer just this goal that you have in theory. It's now you can see it, you can touch it, because it's on paper. And then you go from there. You really use that to help keep you focused on your goal, keep your eye on the prizes, as they say, so that at the end of the day, you do hit your goal, and it's something that you feel proud of, and then you can move on to your next goals. You can move on to a bigger goal. You can continue on that goal and tweak it some way, whatever you're looking to do to move forward. I was trying to think. Anything else? No, but that's pretty much it. As I said, just keep your goals SMART, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic and time bound. And as long as you do that, you have a good handle on your goal, so that either you have your roadmap lied out right in front of you so you can just follow it and stay the course, or you then can reassess as things go if things aren't going as planned. But it gives you a better handle of your goal, so you know where you're going to end. So thank you all for this time. Appreciate it. And maybe the next time when Thea lets me do something like this again. Thanks.